there, Facebook. It is Vanessa here again, your speaker, trainer, and coach from Live, Love, Give. And today I'm bringing you a message based on yesterday's Facebook Live, where the beautiful Julie asked me a question regarding how to stop people pleasing. And it was already probably like 25 minutes into a Facebook Live, and I thought it's just such a big topic, and I didn't feel like I could cover it enough in just answering a really quick question, because I personally think it's one of the most important topics, because there's so many of us that end up in people pleasing, and it's ultimately costing us our fulfillment in our lives. So as promised from yesterday's video, I wanted to come up with some steps for you guys, and I've come up with eight steps, and I don't know why that was so difficult, but anyway, so 8 steps as to how to stop and break free of the habit of people pleasing. All right, so I cannot wait to dive into this one with you guys, and thank you to Julie. I don't know if she's here yet, or if she'll watch later, but this one's for you, beautiful, and for all of us who are, really struggle with the whole feeling of people pleasing, selling ourselves short, never feeling quite authentic, never feeling good enough, never feeling like we're loved for who we are, because we're simply not being who we are. So I've come up with 8 specific steps that any of us, I actually just reflected back in my own life, and I looked at how I have overcome people pleasing. And believe me, that is a big call for me to make in my life. I was a massive people pleaser, and at times over this last year, I've been presented with a few different relationships in which I have absolutely been, challenged around people pleasing, and finding myself kind of slipping back into people pleasing ways and habits, and building enough level of self-awareness and the steps that I'm going to be taking you guys through today to be able to break free of that and get beyond it. So let me just say right now, before we go into the steps, that if you're anything like me, you've probably been people pleasing in your life for a number of years. It's become habitual, and you might not even know any other way of being. It's been the way that you've been operating, right? So you can't just think that in an instant you're going to be free of people pleasing. You also need to be challenged with different circumstances and situations in which you can practice and build the muscle of being authentic, as opposed to people pleasing at the expense of your truth. And definitely, you got to do the work, and I'm going to give you the system and the tools to be able to do the work, but you got to do it. And it's not easy, and it does take your time and energy and effort and focused attention, so that's why a lot of people think they'll just handball it into the too hard basket. And you know what? That's why they're not the 1%ers, and that's why they're not watching a video like this, like you guys are. So that's what I'm going to assume, that you're all action takers who are committed to your own growth, your fulfillment, your progress, and forgetting about selling yourself short and your relationship short by pretending to be somebody that you're not in order to keep the peace, or make people happy, or whatever it is. At the end of the day, I want you to go through this process, and through going through this process in your own time, you will generate all the reasons, all the things that it's actually costing you to operate in that habitual pattern, and all the things you stand to gain as a result of making some shifts and changes. So with all that being said, I want to dive into the step-by-step, the 8 different processes that I want to give to you guys today. And my hope is that you're going to be an action taker after this video. Even rewatch this video that I go through with you guys a couple of times, and then get into this work. I'm also going to be putting out a post on this in the next couple of days, so that you'll have the steps again, and any of you guys who don't do it today, you'll be reminded, and might be the kick in the bum you might need in order to get into this action. So with all that being said, let's jump into it. Step 1, we've got to understand what the hell is people pleasing, because we can get caught up in thinking what it is, but it's way easier, if we want to make a shift and a change in anything, to have self-awareness and to be clear on what the terms are that we're talking about. So My definition of people pleasing, and you can tweak this as you would like, but this is really true for me. It is the molding of your expression in your external world in an attempt to please others at the expense of what is true, authentic, or healthy for you as an individual. Okay? So it's not about making people happy that's in alignment with, hey, you've got the ability to light another up or make them happy or do something great for them. It's not actually about that. That's not people pleasing. People pleasing is unhealthy for you as an individual. That's what we're referring to. It is a habit of you suppressing who you really are and expressing some other form of self that you've molded in an attempt to make others look at you in a great light, or please others, not want to rock the boat. You kind of tread on eggshells. You don't want to upset them. You want them to like you. You want them to accept you. You want them to love you and appreciate you. But you're doing it at the expense of your actual authenticity, or the truth of who you are. You're not speaking up. You're not being honest. You're not being truthful. You're trying to be a certain way in order to gain something from somebody else. Okay? So with that being clear, that's number one. We have to know what's the definition of people pleasing so that you can know if you're engaging in that behavior. It's unhealthy to you because you're not being you. You're being who you think other people want you to be, so that you can get something from them in return, like acceptance, approval, love, blah, 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 connection, whatever it is. Okay? That's step one. Step two is identify where, when, and in which relationships you're engaging in this people-pleasing behavior. Get clear. Make it real. It's not about just learning a concept or two. It's actually, okay, this is what people-pleasing is, and now let's make it subjective. Let's put it in my world. Where in my life? In which relationships? And at what times am I engaging in people-pleasing? You know, refer to step one for the identification and the clarification as to what people pleasing is. Remember, not being authentic, trying to mold yourself at the expense of the truth of who you are to gain something from an external personal connection. Okay? Not healthy, right? So step two, identifying where and in which relationships and at what times you're actually engaging in this behavior, making it subjective, making it real, putting it into your life. Then the third step, can't organize my fingers properly. I don't know what's going on there. The third step is to identify the outcome that you're attempting to obtain through the use of people pleasing. So we do things for a reason, right? So then once you've identified where and when you're doing this behavior, ask yourself, what's the result I'm after? What am I looking to obtain by engaging in that behavior? You've got to get clear. What's your outcome? Because there's a reason why we do what we do. What are you trying to get? What result are you trying to achieve? Whatever it is, you've got to identify that. And all of these steps are absolutely you putting this stuff into your own life. It's not a big general thing. It's about you getting clarity and self-awareness so that you can identify what's working for you, what's not working for you, and then have some shifts and changes within into the external world. So, clarify the outcome. Some examples might be, I'm trying to, in this relationship in which I, engage in people pleasing with my family or my parents, I'm really just trying to get them to just accept me for who I am, and I don't want to rock the boat. I don't want to get in the same old dramas, so that I this is the payoff of me engaging in people pleasing. It doesn't rock the boat, and I can feel a sense of acceptance from them by just engaging in this people-pleasing behavior, right? So you've got to identify in those relationships, what's the outcome? What are you looking to achieve? You're trying to hide who you really are because you don't really think that that's going to be a good thing if you discover what it is. Whatever it is, it's subjective to you. What is the reason? What's the result you're after? What are you looking to achieve by engaging in that people-pleasing behavior? All right, so that's the third step. The fourth step is to get clear and honest with yourself about how this current strategy through people pleasing to obtain that result that you identified in the last step is really working out for you. You know, like, who is it? Dr. Phil would say, well, how's that working out for you? I think it's so good, right? So think about it that way. And what I would do, and your action step in this particular step, is to identify 50 to 100 reasons why it's a disadvantage for you, to you and to others, if you continue to people please. Now, this is what I've gotten from the work of Dr. John Demartini, and it might sound like a lot. 50 to 100 reasons why, or disadvantages to myself and to others to continue to engage in people-pleasing behavior. This is where we kind of skim the cream off the milk, right? So, you know, this is where people kind of drop off because they're like, I can't be bothered with that. I've got more important things to do. Like, I don't know, like something really boring that's not really actually moving the needle forward, because nothing is more important than your relationship with self and how you're behaving in your external environment, and whether it's conducive with you feeling empowered and good about yourself or not, you know. So I challenge you to identify a minimum of 50 to 100 disadvantages to yourself and to everybody else that you're engaging in this behavior around, if you continue with your people-pleasing ways. You know, and because at the end of the day, nobody does anything that they do not see more advantages over disadvantages in doing. Okay? So this is the simplicity of it. You've got to be able to identify a maximum amount of disadvantages for you to continue to engage in this behavior. We're talking about people pleasing today. It could be any behavior that you want to change. This is the step to do. Identify as many possible reasons, minimum 50 to 100, but keep going if you've got them, and push yourself. The more you push yourself to find the disadvantages, the more you're recircuiting and rewiring your brain to say, why the hell would I keep doing that? And trust in the fact that you would discontinue to do it if you saw more disadvantages than advantages in doing it. So the fact that you're still operating and engaged in that habitual or addictive pattern says to me quite clearly that you actually, whether you're conscious or not of it, you actually see more advantages than disadvantages in continuing that behavior. All right, so that is that step. That's the fourth step. The fifth step is to identify a new healthy strategy for obtaining your desired outcome that you identified in step 3. Remember, you identified, why am I engaging in people pleasing? What am I looking to achieve? What's the result that I'm after? Now it's about finding some creative solutions. Well, after we've seen all the disadvantages to myself and others if I continue down this path, now I'm going to create a new strategy, a new pathway for success, and I'm going to identify a healthy alternative for achieving and obtaining the same result. And it's only going to, the rule is that it's only going to allow you, it has to allow you to be authentically you. It's all truthful. There's no more people pleasing. There is no more pretense. There is only truth and authenticity in obtaining a new way, creating a new strategy of obtaining the result that you're originally after unconsciously with that people-pleasing behavior. It's got to be healthy. The definition of healthy is you being authentic. You know, that's what makes it healthy. You're being truthful. You're being all of who you are. What's unhealthy is pretending to be somebody that you're not. All right, so that's never going to get you really great, fulfilling results. So this is the time to get creative and identify a new healthy solution to the problem and obtaining a new result through a healthy strategy. Next, key, visualize. So, you know, you've got to be able to, once you've got that new strategy in place, that how could I healthily, you know, create a better connection, an authentic connection. What does that look like? You've got to come up with that strategy. It's got to be personified to you. And then the next step is to be able to visualize it, to be able to actually walk through, you know, that experience. Like the next time you engage with that person who you've been people pleasing with, what could this new strategy look like? If you visualize it, you make it feel real, you know what it's going to feel like to actually be authentic. You've kind of, you go there in the garden of your mind. You walk through those steps. That is real to your subconscious mind because it works in symbols. So if you can visualize this new strategy in action with these relationships, and you can really feel into what it would feel like, how's it going to feel different to when you're people pleasing, and you can fully put yourself into that role, it is absolutely going to build that muscle, that give you the practice that you need internally without it always being the back and forth in the external world. It's going to make it much easier to start to implement that new strategy in the real world. And then the 7th step, oh my gosh, this seems like so much now that I'm talking it out. But guys, remember, I'm going to put this post out for you guys in a couple of days. But the next step, the 7th step, we're nearly there, is to identify 50 to 100, again, advantages for you to leave behind all the people pleasing and step into this new, healthy and authentic strategy that you've been able to identify and visualize and feel into. The more advantages that you can come up with stepping into this new, healthy strategy, the more you're going to automatically get into action in these processes. So like I said before, nobody does anything that we don't see more advantages than disadvantages in doing. And if you can identify that there are so many, way more advantages in you stepping into this new healthy strategy, and you can see there's so many more disadvantages in continuing down that same people-pleasing behavioral path, then you're going to automatically get into action. And anytime you're stuck in some pattern, remember, you are consciously or unconsciously seeing that there's more advantages than disadvantages in continuing down this path. So you have to do the work to identify all the disadvantages and make them outweigh the advantages of continuing down the path you want to change, and up level and increase all that consciousness around all the advantages for making a shift and a change and walking down a new healthy path that you've identified, then continuing. All right, so it's simple. It's not easy because we've got to do the work and we've got to put in the effort. Not everybody will, but I know you guys will. But at the end of the day, it is literally that simple. And once you get that out, what am I looking for? The ratio in the right way, you will make the shifts automatically. You'll be conscious enough to go, why would I go down that path? Why would I steer my car directly into a power pole if I know I'm going to die? That's what you'll get to. You'll be able to just drive and cruise to your destination in a healthy way if you know how to consciously do that, and directing it this way will kill me. That's literally what you're doing in your brain by stacking up the disadvantages and advantages in your favor to make the changes. And lastly, it's literally just that commitment to telling the truth all the time with compassion, and knowing as you identify all the advantages and the disadvantages, you'll start to see the patterns in how people-pleasing, although you may think that it's very well intentioned, you'll start to see how it's actually killing the purpose of what you're looking to achieve. It is killing your connection and ability to achieve and obtain all those things that you want to by engaging in people-pleasing behavior. All that depth of connection, all that love, all that acceptance for who you really are, because you're not being who you are, and therefore you're not giving anybody the opportunity to love you for who you really are, and you're certainly not loving yourself, and that's why you're trying to people please and mold yourself. But the moment you step into the truth of who you are, you start to trust yourself, you start to believe in yourself, and you can give yourself an opportunity to actually know yourself so that you can finally actually love yourself. And any other time that you're engaging in people-pleasing behavior, you're not giving yourself the opportunity to do so. You're actually, just diminishing your self-belief, your self-trust, and your ability to love yourself or know yourself. Okay, so through these steps, through these processes, identifying all the disadvantages and advantages and weighing them up to a healthy ratio, you are going to take yourself to a whole new level of self-awareness, and you're also going to create a much healthier pathway forward, and you're going to automatically get into those actions with a little bit of courage, but courage comes in the consciousness, okay? So remember that. And I really encourage you to go through these steps. I really hope that they are helping you and supporting you. And I hope that you're going to be an action taker, all you people pleasers out there, and actually make use of these. And if you know a people pleaser in your life and you want to establish a really extraordinary quality of relationship with them, I encourage you to give them this message and give them the steps so that they can do the work on their side, so that you can actually establish depth of connection with them. Because if they're a people pleaser, you're not going to be able to go deeply with them. And I know that all too well because I've been on both sides. All right, so, and I'm sure you guys have as well. So I really hope that today's message is serving you. If you like action taking, if you want to break through to your next level, I really encourage you to join the monthly masterclasses with the Limitless Potential Academy. It is really, we go really deep. I give you the worksheets, I give you the action tools, and I give you the support and the coaching to actually have the breakthroughs that you need to get to the next level of your limitless potential. So for whatever reason, if you've been sleeping under a rock and you haven't heard me mention the masterclasses before, I would really encourage you to check out more about what they are, and definitely sign up. The link is up above. And thanks to all you guys who are already a big part of the masterclasses. I love you guys so much, and I cannot wait for our second monthly masterclass coming up Thursday this week. Oh, super, super excited. So I definitely want to check in with you guys. Have you got any questions? Have you got any comments? Do you want to just say hi and let me know where in the world you are tuning in from, or any words of wisdom that you have to share in terms of people pleasing, or anything that you'd like? I'd absolutely love to hear from you guys. Now, my favorite part, getting to check in with you guys. Been going off with all those steps. But I've got Sam in the house, awesome, and Rob's back, and Lisa, and Sharat, and Dawn's here, yay, and Judy, and Kyle, and Bradley, and thank you, Sam, always appreciate you, and Victoria, hello to you, and Kyle, you're amazing. Thank you, my friend. I love having you here. And Pankaj is here, and Hussein, much love to you, and Ashley's here, and Sam, so happy you brought up this incredible topic. I love it, Sam. I'm grateful that this is resonating with you. Hope it's helpful. And Tanya's in the house, awesome. And Pat and Chantel, hello to you, and Eric and Morris. And Sam, I love the growth you have attained. Thank you, Sam. Always striving for another level. I love how growth just never stops. So I love that, Sam. Thank you, my friend. And Lucy's here. Great to see you, Lucy. I've been sending you so much positivity and so much healing on your journey, you beautiful soul. I hope that you are doing amazingly well. And I love having you here. And Ning's here, and Ernie, and Alonia, and love it that you're saying hi to everybody, Sam. And Melissa's here, and Sam. Love that kick in the ass to take action. You know, I'll always give it to you. It's all about action. So I love that, Sam, and I love that you love it. And Azmatullah, hello to you, my friend. And Syed and Vibhav, if I'm saying that right. And Alex is here, and Haida, hello to you. And John, and Ankit, and Techie, and Todd, and Sam. I feel that being manipulative and taking that which is not mine. I feel that's being manipulative and taking that which is not mine. I'm assuming, because I always check in it after I've already done all the speaking, I'm assuming that you're talking about, yeah, when we're people pleasing. It is absolutely manipulative. You know, we think that we're doing a good thing. We think we're such good people. We're always looking for other people's happiness and to do what's good by them. But at the end of the day, you're actually being manipulative and you're being a liar. You know, and that's simply what it is. You're not being authentic. You're not being truthful. You're just trying to manipulate the world around you. And even if that's coming from a place of like, you just don't feel good about you, and you're not consciously and at the top of your mind trying to manipulate people, at the end of the day, that was part of what broke my pattern around people pleasing, was seeing that it was actually manipulative and it was actually giving to get, and it wasn't being a good person at all, you know, and you're not giving anybody the opportunity to go deep with you because they simply don't know who you are, and you're certainly not building a great relationship with yourself because you can't go deep with you because you're just pretending to be all these different personas and wear all these different masks and you got nothing to go on. So I love that, Sam. Thank you so much for your input as always. And Mosen, I hope your friends take the most pleasure from your talk. Thank you, Mosen. And you as my friend, Mosen, I hope you are as well, my friend. And Jeffrey's here. Hello to you. And wishing you a happy day as well, Mosen. And Tahia and Judy and Vanessa's in the house. Awesome. And Jolene and Gael. Awesome. And Amber and Victoria. Would this include doing this at my job with clients? I'm a hairdresser. Oh, I didn't know that. That's so cool. I think you just answered my question. It's not really hurting me or a disadvantage for me to do this. Yeah. So to be honest, and you know what my work is if I'm not authentic, I don't have a job. I don't have a business. I don't have anybody who wants to work with me. My whole business is built on authenticity. The more authentic I can be, the better my business will do, you know? The more I can connect with you guys, you know? If I don't do that, I'm living a fallacy, and you guys will reflect that back to me. So what I would say, Victoria, is that I make it a point that wherever I am all of who I am. You know, and it really makes you feel good. And I would say it doesn't matter in what environment you work in. Personally, I would just be my authentic self. If it's not true for me, I just speak the truth, you know, but I speak the truth all the time with compassion. I'm not walking around telling people that they don't look good or, you know, bringing people down or whatever. I actually genuinely want the best for everybody, and I genuinely want to connect deeply, and I know that the only way to connect is to be real and to be authentic. So that's what I'm going to do. And you know what? When you're authentic, you inspire the best out of others. You give them permission to step more fully into a courageous, version of themselves who is more authentic. So to be honest, I would say this is everywhere you go. But really what's unhealthy is when we say and do things at the expense of our truth, you know, versus, if it's not at the expense of our truth and it makes somebody happy, then, what's the problem with that? That can be your truth, you know, but I hope that answers your question. And I love that you're a hairdresser. So cool. And Vanessa, I tried something different a few days ago, and a friend of mine is saying she's worried about me. Now I'm doubting myself. Okay, yes, Vanessa, I am so with you. And I know so much of me resonates with you, not just because we share the same name, but when I got to meet with you, I was like, boom, you resonate with me, resonate. And this is kind of the same thing. Whenever we step into something different, some different way of being, you know, it's going to be challenging. And that's why I'm always talking about who we show up with, you know, who we express that inspiration with, that new vision with, that change with, because we can get easily thrown off path if we're not really certain within ourselves, particularly if you're a bit like me and the external world is kind of the real world, and you value feedback, and you can oftentimes feel like your natural instinct is to kind of go to the external world and see what people think about things before you go to you. That's definitely been a muscle that I've been building, and I continue to build, and it's hard work. So I think you might be a little bit like me in that regard, Vanessa. So what I would say to you is to kind of do some more internal work. You know, that is a sign that, you know, and it's a beautiful gift that friend of yours is giving you, to show you that you haven't quite built the strength within, and so to do a little bit more work, you know. And it might be a simple process, like with whatever that change is that you've been doing something different, weighing up maybe all the advantages of continuing down this path, and trying this different thing, and all the disadvantages to you if you stay the same and let this doubt overtake you. Something simple like that. But it is a key, it is like a lesson for you to build that confidence and that courage from within, and to just kind of reflect back to you that you kind of might be overvaluing her judgment and opinion, but only you know the best for you. Other people are just living their own subjective worlds and pushing their experience and perception and their subjective world onto you. So build that muscle and do the internal work. And I really hope that helps you, Victoria. And I love that you're in the masterclasses. I can't wait to see you on Thursday. And Sam, why do you do Facebook Live standing up? It gives your presence and transmission more potency and authentic engagement. Why do I do them? Or why don't I do all of them standing up? Well, to be honest, sometimes I just feel like sitting down, and I feel like just talking to you on this level, so oftentimes, I absolutely feel better when I'm standing up, but sometimes I'm just like that, and that's just why, I guess. And other times I'm probably like in my PJ pants, and I'm just like, I can't really be bothered putting some pants on, and I don't want to be standing here in my PJ pants, so I just sit down anyway. So all different sorts of reasons, but I always appreciate your feedback, and I absolutely feel the difference when I'm standing up and like fully getting into it, because you guys know I'm very this way. So I love it, Sam. And Shemetra is here as well, and Elliot's here. Awesome. And Victoria, you're loving the masterclass. I love that you love the masterclasses, and you've only had one so far, so I can't wait to blow your socks off, hopefully this Thursday with the next masterclass. And I love having you a part of the team, Victoria. And Dawn, I made this list when I made a breakthrough and leaving my relationship. I got it from Tony Robbins, when the positives outweigh the negatives. So this is a great strategy. I love that, Dawn, and I love that you've had that empowerment. And absolutely, I like to look at I like DeMartini's terminology in advantages versus disadvantages. But yeah, positives and negatives, it's all kind of the same. And I love that you've already experienced this kind of strategy in your life. Beautiful. Dawn, thanks so much for sharing. And Lucy, thank you, Vanessa, for your positive energy. I always will feel blessed through your blessings you send out. So much love for you, Lucy. And thanks so much for being here. So great to see you. And like I said, I really hope that you are up and Adam, and really on the mend. Beautiful. And Sandy's here. Good morning to you, and Wyan, and Angela, and Dawn. All these layers we keep peeling away. That's why I'm in the masterclass. I love having you in the masterclass. Beautiful, Dawn. And like I said, I can't wait to see you. It'll be Wednesday evening your time, Thursday Aussie time. Can't wait to see you then, Dawn. And Mary's here, and your bays, and Huss is in the house. Awesome. And Sandy, thanks for giving positive energy. Always, Sandy. Thank you so much for shooting some back. And I love having you here. And I love it. Dawn, your spirit brothers are in the house. I love it. And Huss, hey V, I'm sorry, just woke up from a nap, but I'll catch the recording too. Awesome. Getting that sleep action in. I love it. Love hearing that. And Sam, it has gotten clear to me that people-pleasing denies us opportunities for authenticity, self-love, truth, trust, belief, growth, and compassion. Absolutely. Intentions might look good, but we're taking from others, manipulating and lying to them. In simple terms, we're stealing from others their time, energy, trust, and resources. Boom, absolutely drop the mic, Sam. So much wisdom that you just shared all in that paragraph, and absolutely. And when we can get that, and we can really feel that, and we can shake up our good intentions and realize how they really are, absolutely, that can be the kick up the butt that we might need in order to stop going down that pathway and create a new strategy. So thank you so much for sharing that with us all, Sam. You're such a superstar, and I completely agree. And Max is here as well. And I'm loving it. Sending out the love to Dawn there, Sam, and Bayla's here, and Ray, and Heidi, and Vanessa. Thank you, Vanessa. Excellent message today. Stay warm. Thank you so much. Yes, it's freezing in our beautiful Melbourne city, but I've got the heaters pumping and everything going. So yes, stay warm to you as well, Vanessa. And love it, Dawn. Awesome. So I really hope that today's message has served you. It's resonated with you. I hope you action takers are going to take some action, get out of the people pleasing, make the shifts and changes, decide that no more, and really see all the advantages for you making the shift, all the disadvantages for staying the same. You'll automatically get into action and stop wasting the time. All right, so that is it from me today, guys. As always, I'm sending you all of my love, light, blessings, gratitude, energy, enthusiasm, everything extraordinary coming to you to wherever you are in the world today. I really hope it's beautiful, amazing, extraordinary, not as cold as here in Melbourne, and I hope that you're going to do something seriously empowering, and I hope that today's message has empowered you. And thank you to everybody who joined me live and engaged. I love you guys. You give me so much energy, and I really appreciate you spending your time here. And I hope you're going to join the masterclasses if you haven't already, because I can't wait to go deeper with you. And last little comments here, Sam, I just saw so incredible and empowering feedback. Thank you so much. I honor and appreciate you, superstar. Likewise, my friend, as always, so much love and appreciation for each and every one of you guys. I can't wait to see you guys tomorrow. Sending you all of my love, and I'll see you then.